it's Dr. Jan with some wise words to work with. And I'm going to talk to you today about my philosophy in regards to dealing with workplace bullying. First, I believe that leaders should take workplace bullying seriously. When there are allegations in their organization of workplace bullying, they should take it seriously. They should hold the bully accountable so that workplace bullying stops. Okay. Unfortunately, what we know is that many times leaders don't take it seriously. And that's because sometimes our bosses are bullies. And a lot of times people don't know what workplace bullying is. They think it's like conflict. And so they think people and adults in the workplace should be able to handle and manage those things on their own. And they don't understand the complex nature of workplace bullying. The other thing, too, is people don't know how to hold bullies accountable. So there's a wide array of reasons that leaders don't take workplace bullying seriously, and they don't intervene when allegations of workplace bullying happen. Okay. And a lot of times people say, you have to report because workplace bullying is wrong and you deserve justice. And you know what? Workplace bullying is wrong, and you do deserve justice in your organization, and your leaders should be holding bullies accountable. But what we know is that doesn't happen. And so when targets of workplace bullying continue to make allegations of workplace bullying, they are in fact making their bully culture worse for them. So what happens is they're traumatized by the workplace bullying, okay? And then they report, they think that somebody will intervene, that somebody should intervene, and they're right, somebody should do that, but then it doesn't happen, and so they're re-traumatized when organizations and leaders fail to intervene on their behalf. And what we also know is that oftentimes when allegations are made, there's increased bullying and retaliation for the target. So bullying actually gets worse when they report workplace bullying. Okay, so I believe that we should help targets manage bully culture to reduce the amount of harm they're experiencing in the workplace. So let's say, for example, somebody does want to report workplace bullying. What I would help them do is to develop a plan of action to help them report in a way that reduces the amount of trauma that they're going to experience as a result, and also prepare them for the likelihood of increased workplace bullying. Okay, so I don't think that targets should never report. I think that there should be a plan of action and a strategy if you are going to report, and to understand the likelihood that nothing may happen and it actually could get worse. And so what happens in bully culture is that the standard of professional behavior is that of bad behavior, okay? So if you would go to a normal, I'm using air quotes there, normal, to a healthy workplace, okay, it doesn't mean that unprofessional behavior doesn't happen. It certainly does, but it is the exception, not the norm. In bully culture, bad behavior is the norm, not the exception. And so everyone is engaging in it. And yes, even the target. Okay. And so because that's the standard and that's the expectation, is that bad behavior is normalized. But in bully culture, there's a double standard. So what do I mean by that? I mean, the target cannot and should not engage in unprofessional behavior, even though it's the norm, okay? Because there'll be consequences for them. Targets will be consequenced, and bullies are rewarded. And a lot of times bystanders can engage in unprofessional behavior too, especially if they are loyal to the bully. And the other thing it does, so it also solidifies the false narrative that the bully has created about the target. So for example, in one of the bully cultures that I worked in, I was considered the troublemaker. Okay. And so when I engaged in back and forth via email, and I sent some pretty unprofessional emails, to be honest with you, I then was solidifying the narrative that the bullies had created about me being the troublemaker, and they could point to those emails to show that I was a troublemaker. They were allowed to send me horrible emails, but I couldn't send them anything like that. And if I did, and of course I did, and when I did, I was solidifying that narrative about me being the troublemaker. So it's very problematic. Okay. So I also help targets of workplace bullying manage how they act. Because when I was engaging in back and forth with the bully, I was setting myself up for increased bullying. So I really ended up hurting myself when I was engaging in bad behavior. Okay, so that's my philosophy is yes, I believe leaders should take it seriously. I also know that leaders often don't. And as a result of that, targets have to manage what they're experiencing. And part of that does require you to look at how you're reacting and what you're doing to make yourself more vulnerable. Okay, and I also help you work with supportive allies. I help you find supportive allies if they're out there, and then develop strategies for you and your supportive allies, again, to reduce the amount of harm that the target is experiencing. Okay. And so I think it's important that you understand my philosophy of workplace bullying, and that will help you explain why sometimes I talk about workplace bullying and managing it, in a way that might be different from other experts. Again, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any comments, you can email me at jan@stopbullyculture.com. And I am hoping that you are working in a place that is safe and wonderful. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.